Joining me now is the Democratic Congresswoman from Washington and the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Suzan DelBene. Thank you so much for joining me, Congresswoman. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Let me ask you about the news that Leader Schumer made with me earlier today before we get to the broader future of the party. He told me when I asked him, he does think the country is in the middle of a constitutional crisis because of this back and forth that we are seeing between President Trump and federal judges. What say you? Do you think that the country is in a constitutional crisis?
Well, we're in a very dangerous place because we have Congress, a co-equal branch of government, not standing up, Republicans, and not standing up to President Trump, not doing the job of oversight, even asking basic questions, bringing Elon Musk in and having him speak to why he needs to access taxpayer information or Social Security information. Republicans have the Senate and they have the House majorities, but we are a co-equal branch, and yet they refuse to stand up. They seem to think their only job is to work for Donald Trump and not work for the people that they represent. And so that is a dangerous place for us to be, why it's so important that we continue to stand up, and why, my job, which is incredibly important, make sure we take back the majority in the House so that we have a part of Congress that's willing to stand up.
Leader Schumer said in another interview on MSNBC earlier this week that his strategy is to, quote, keep at it as President Trump's approval ratings are dipping. Do you think that that's the right strategy? Do you think that Democrats, broadly speaking, need to show more fight? And are Senator Sanders and Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez embodying that type of fight right now?
Well, we are hearing from folks all across the country, understandably, because people are scared. They're losing their jobs. They're seeing prices go up at the grocery store, at the gas pump, at the pharmacy counter, because of the actions this administration has taken. And stories are incredibly important because when we actually talk to folks about what's happening in our communities, the impact directly in our communities, that means that people are standing up, they're getting engaged and getting involved and speaking out. So we are sharing stories across the country, making sure that people understand the impacts that the decisions this president, Elon Musk, and House Republicans have made, how they are impacting them. And it's important that we hold Republicans accountable for these actions, and we are doing that. We're also recruiting great candidates to run, all because one way that we put a check on this president is to make sure that we have the majority in the House of Representatives.
Do you think that Leader Schumer is the right person to be leading Democrats in the Senate right now?
We are united to stand up for working families, to stand up for the American people. We're going to continue to work with Leader Schumer. He is the leader in the Senate. I think our focus needs to be on what Republicans are doing and stand up to the Republican actions. They're kind of shutting down of the government, the dismantling of the government they're putting in place, and the dangerous impacts this is having on the American people.
All right. Congresswoman Suzan DelBene, we really appreciate your being here.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.